never wanted to live amongst the birds. This treehouse celebrates our coexistence with nature. It was named Mother Tree as a loving tribute to Jean, the Cornett family matriarch. Mother Tree is located in spirit of the Suwannee Park and has captured the hearts of children of all ages. It was featured on DIY's The Treehouse Guys and measures about 450 square feet. The treehouse was built in 72 days without any technical drawings whatsoever. The roof of the structure is 45 feet above ground level with a winding metal staircase to the upper level. Designed by Michael Garnier, most of the wood used for the house was harvested right here within the park. So these bolts here actually make the tree stronger, if you can believe it. So this tree, which would have grown to about 300 years old, because of these bolts, are going to be to 800 or 900 years old. I think that's truly amazing. Nature and science together building something that will last almost forever. Okay, well maybe not forever, but long. Long time. See, they're written, well, we see it backwards. It says Mother Tree. And that's because that's a tribute to Mama. Builders and workers were suspended by ropes while working, and lifts were used to get the wood and the countertop up into the tree. No small feat for sure.
picture, we were actually coming down here to greet the TV cast. They were coming from that direction, we came from this direction. The cameras were rolling, and we're just coming together, and everybody's getting to meet each other for the first time. Well, to get little sound bites, they went through each of us and asked us, things about the project. And when they got to Trenton, he was 10, he said, my grandmother's house in Kentucky, it's actually his great-grandma's house, has all kinds of little corners and hidden doors and things. And my mom designed that house that we grew up in, and she's, like amateur architects do, they'll make mistakes, and there'll be these little voids where, so she put a door on it, put a light in there. She had 6 boys, so it was a great, we loved being able to go hide in a room and that sort of thing. Well, so Trenton says, well, Grandma Jean has nooks and crannies all through her house. He says, I'm kind of a nooks and crannies guy. So we call that nooks and crannies. Get to the top, stay bent over and take one step forward. That's a little deceptive for that prefix. Take one step forward before you raise it up. There you go, there you go.
Huh. That is really neat.
So they had that staged with a bed up there for the TV show.
Okay, the bed was here.
Yeah.
That is nice.
When was it completed?
March the 28th, 2015 was that was ready for TV, and but we worked on it easily another 6 months after that with building the deck out there and some finish work, but it was largely done March the 28th.
Oh, this.
They're all turned around the other way, coming down. It looks like it's coming down that way.
It does.
It's a little awkward.
But everything is so functional. It's not awkward whatsoever. It's so well thought of.
And that's the workmanship. We literally have had, we've probably had 10,000 people walk through this house, if not certainly 5. And so as a result, you're going to have some builders and professional architects and that sort of thing come through. And the questions they ask about, do you have the blueprints we can see and all that? And I have to explain to them there weren't any blueprints. This was done on a napkin. After they saw the tree, they'd drawn it up, and the decisions being made on the fly.
This is a picture of the whole family?
It is. That's the extended family. Yeah.
And the tribute is to your mom, who's
My mom's
sitting
right
there
here,
in the middle.
Yeah, this is my dad. He's still alive.
And you're there in the back. Is that you?
That is me, and I actually took that picture too with the remote.
Oh,
yeah, I got everybody posing and ran and got in it. That's so. This is my brother's back here. My brother James, that you haven't met yet. I hope you get to. That's him there. He's the president CEO here. And where's my son at? Josh. I'll find him in a minute. That's my daughter Adrian, took the picture.
Beautiful name.
And I cannot find Josh. He's probably staying. There he is. That's my son Josh back there. And this is his daughter Isabel, but he's got 2 more sons. So he's got 3 daughters. And then we have two boys and a girl live here in Florida as well. So 6 grandchildren. Yeah. There's one more family picture you got to see. This one in the corner. So there were 6 boys in my family. My brother Hugh, who was 1, 2, 3, 4 from the bottom, was killed in a car wreck in 1985. That was on the Thursday of the very first bluegrass festival my family was going to hold here. You remember they were coming down here to do festivals. This is going to be a permanent home. Well, their very first one, my brother died in a car wreck. Mom and Dad had to blast to Kentucky to be with family. And volunteers on that very first show, volunteers took over and ran the whole thing.
Wow.
And it went very well. So
first
that's my dad
show.
at the top. That's all 6 of us. I'm the infant in the cradle.
How many people you guys had? Would you know?
On
On the very first
festival. Of course, none of us were here, and all the reports were glowing because everybody wanted to say the right things. So, so I don't really know, but I would guess probably 500.
Okay,
at
wow.
that one. Now, our very first festival we had in Kentucky in 1974, we had about 150 people show up for it. And it's got a whole nother story as to how we got there. But I wanted you to know that the CEO at the Spirit of the Suwannee, the guy that makes all the deals, brings in all these wonderful shows and all of that, that would be the one sucking his thumb there.
Oh man,
That's the head honcho.
Yep, that's it.
Well,
Yep. It's, he loves that I just tell everybody that while we're doing it.
so you guys have running water over here, right?
Oh, sure, yeah. We've got a full bathroom. The only thing we didn't put in is any cooking. We decided that we didn't, the idea of a grease fire or something here was like the scariest thing ever. So
No kidding.
so we decided any cooking is going to happen on the ground away from the house.
Yeah, beautiful countertops, man. Really,
Now,
really.
this stuff went in. This is how tight the schedule was. These were put in by a Latino crew from Jacksonville, I think. They were here at 2 o'clock in the morning, March the 28th. They were going to start filming at 7 a.m. And these Mexican guys were here putting this granite in at 2 o'clock in the morning. And they had to hoist it up in the dark to get it in here.
Wow.
And all that. The decorator was here. Everybody was
This
here.
is
trying to get
heavy.
it done. Oh, yeah.
This is really heavy and
Yeah.
Did you
fragile
already
too.
talk about the story of this painting?
No, I
Sorry,
didn't. I
maybe I
didn't.
shouldn't be touching that.
Let me close it here. Let's turn that off in case I forget.
Wow, look at
That's right.
that.
It's the same picture.
Yeah, she
again.
didn't hear that story yet. That was I keep forgetting that.
That is an amazing carving.
So I'll start that with how the TV people do this. They didn't tell us about this.
Wow.
You know, you see these shows and everything, gives the appearance like we're seeing everything for the first time. But the reality was we were an integral part of being here helping the guys. So we saw it going up.
Yeah.
But they, being TV folks, know to hold something
Stuff
back.
back.
And this is what they held back. So the story
Wow.
I told Dory earlier on this is that they when they're showing us around, they told the story of the crew.
Yeah.
This was after we had all packed up and gone to Kentucky for Mom's funeral, and so they didn't have anybody, their normal crowd, bringing them lunch or putting gas in the generators or running to get stuff from the hardware store or whatever. They were all gone, and it got very depressing for them. They were, we'd grown very close to them as Mom had, and so on payday Thursday, they all cashed their paychecks in, bought some beer, and came up here, and just kind of let it all go, And before they'd done it, they had called their friend Todd Henry in Oregon that makes these doors, and they pooled their money together and gave this to my family as a gift.
Wow.
It's a beautiful gesture.
That's a
It is.
special tribute.
Yeah. So Todd had about, let's see, he would have had about a month to make that door and get it shipped here from Oregon. So we'll be ready. So the artwork back here was done by Johnny Dame, and I mentioned him. He's the gentleman that I told you is the naturalist, and he thinks we have a vortex of sorts, an energy center, and he also goes out to Mount Shasta in California. Well, they wanted an artist to be part of the show, and we knew exactly who to call. So Johnny's concept for that was these pieces of plywood that he saw that had the river built into it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Here. And so he set up on remember the deck we stood out on down there where all the weddings take place? He painted for 2 days on that deck with the time lapse.
So this artist too.
Oh yeah, Johnny Dane. He doesn't have much on the web, Johnny does, but Michael's all over the place. But this is a little gadget of his called Fantasy Flakes, and I'll have to. You use the sun, and you got to do it just right. But if you hold it up to the sun, you see these little sparklies all over your eyes. And he used to make his living selling these on, I think it was Venice Pier in California.
Oh.
It was a street huckster, or what do you
Okay.
call that? Lots of little knickknacks that tell
great
stories around here.
stories.
Yeah. And I love the lighting. The lighting, it's really like
Yeah.
special place so you could see the little details.
Yeah.
Like this thing, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that was originally the beaded thing went across that way as well, but we just decided it was more in the way than anything and took it down.
Ah,
That
so
table there is made with cypress, the same tree that I showed you with the knees and all that.
Mhm.
And Mom found that slab somewhere, I think at a flea market or something. She brought it to me, and I made the table out of it, and we had it around our house for years. And Vicki was tired of it because it was too heavy for her to move. And I was about to give it away or sell it to somebody, and then wait a minute.
Treehouse.
Yeah.